Hello everybody and welcome back to Final Fantasy! I am Rufel, playing this game for you. Woo! Well, finishing this game for you really. We're back for our rematch with Chaos. Last time we fought him was back in part 21. We were level 55. Now here in part 30, we're level 74 and hellishly overpowered. This isn't going to last very long, as you can imagine. But we'll see what kind of a fight he puts up. Come on, man, throw something at us that's threatening. And rush him. Ow. Well, his physical attacks still hurt, but... well, Omega and Shinryu were far more dangerous than this guy. And since we have these rune staves, we're just going to let the knights beat him up whilst Useless and Talent keep the group healed. In fact, if he proves wussy enough, I might just buff up Useless or Talent. I probably should attack him with Useless just so that Useless's new weapon can have some time on screen. I'm sure Talent will be able to keep the group alive. He's capable of so many amazing things. Oh, that's gonna require work. Oh wait, no it isn't. Because it's Chaos, not someone meaner. Okay, now healing the group will be prudent. The struggle between light and dark continues. You can even see it in the background. The warriors of light are on the bright side, and then Chaos is in the dark side. Get him, guys! Well, he just wants to lock down Titus's ability for maximum damage. Not that it's going to help much. See? Yeah, Chaos was basically no threat this time, which is a big part of why I fought him back in part 21. So he could actually show his stuff as an end boss. But no matter, this time, we shall get an explanation of our story. In case you hadn't figured it out already. Which, if you haven't, I won't fault you. It is a bit out there. So what we got? The time loop was severed at last. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years had ended, and peace prevailed once more. Despite that the struggle only existed at the start of the loop and the last 400 years of it. The light of the four crystals restored the forces of wind, water, earth, and fire. because that's what the Warriors of Light did. They destroyed the fiends and then restored the crystals. But it was a mere trick of fate that had given rise to the chain of Garland's wrath. The chain that when you think about it, didn't do anything. But it was magnified by the four forces meant to guide our world. That trick of fate also gave birth to the fiends. Monsters ran rampant and the world sank into darkness because the fiends had shut out the light. Where did these fiends come from? Apparently 2,000 years in the past or something. But all that is now past. With the four forces flowing as they were meant, the warriors prepared to cross time and return to the world they knew. A world where Princess Sarah, Queen Jane, and even Garland himself wait. Because now that they've broken the time loop, nothing will have changed. These whole events will have not existed, so they'll probably have to go and kick Garland to the curb. But when was this fateful day that sent time spiraling into a loop? Well, no, none can say. Presumably it happened 2,000 years ago, maybe it happened in the present. But it seemed that the cycle into which time had fallen would last forever, which it completely couldn't. Because the bravery of four young travelers changed that. They took the forces that filled the world with darkness and used them to bathe the world in light. Because that's what the Warriors of Light do. None will ever recall the struggle the four endured. For the breaking of the chain means it never existed. And that is why Garland will still be a jerk in the present when they return. They'll have to kick him to the curb and save the princess again. But within the tales of fantasy that people tell, the memory of their deeds live on. Four incredibly powerful warriors came out of nowhere, clobbered a knight who was way under their ability, and rescued a princess. Tales of dwarves and elves, dragons and shining civilizations that reached the heavens even as they fell. Those sound like great stories. Now the return is upon us. With the memory of their struggle buried deep in their hearts, they will quietly watch over our world. Of course they're not going to be gentle. They are four very violent people. Remember always that the forces of the world must be used as they were intended, that the power of light must never be used for dark, and that the true crystals reside in your heart. Are we being heavy-handed enough yet? No, but remember, you are the warrior who crossed time, as am I. Which one were we? I don't know. I have a pretty good idea which one I was. And I was a waste of space. But no matter. You and I, we are the bringers of light, and perhaps we should turn it off. It's a little bright. Right! Everybody got that? Good! Because now we have our credits roll. Hooray! The bridge scene, which was only there in a cutscene. In Portuga, where the pirates and the civilians have come to terms with each other. Latoya meets the prince, and other stuff at the Western Keep. I don't know. Mermaids! I guess the maker of the barrel didn't just die. Apparently we gave the princess her loot back. Hooray! And now we get a credits roll. Dawn of Souls is a great remake of the first game. But if you want a more authentic one, then you should either play the original game or look to Final Fantasy Origins, which was released for the PlayStation. That'll have the same graphical look as this one, but it's more faithful to it, and there are no bonus dungeons. But whatever. Final Fantasy was not my gateway game into RPGs. That was Dragon Warrior. Mostly because Dragon Warrior had 3 save slots, whilst the original Final Fantasy only had 1. So I never really got to play it. My brothers would consume that for me. Would consume that save slot. Oh well. Still a great game. And in case you're wondering why it's called Final Fantasy, my understanding of the name is that when the game was made, Squaresoft was on the verge of going under into bankruptcy. So Final Fantasy was their last-ditch effort, their Final Fantasy. And if the game didn't succeed, then neither would Squaresoft. But since it did, we now have, well, Final Fantasy 15 is either is out or is coming out soon, so there's that. And before we completely finish off, we have the opportunity to save our clear game data. What's the point of this? Well, it keeps our bestiary intact. So saving the clear game data is the only way to actually get chaos into the bestiary. But other than that, it doesn't do us any good because, well, it's not like there's a new game plus for this thing. Not that I'm aware of. And not that I am inclined to play right now. Haha. Oh. This has been Final Fantasy. I am Rufel. I have played this game for you. I will see you next game. Until then, later.